These musicians are heading to a venue like no other. Hidden on Tasmania's west coast is the 100-year-old hydroelectric power station at Lake Margaret.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It's not, you don't really see anything like this in Canada, that's for sure. Different landscape, very different landscape.
For most of the 20th century, there was a vibrant community living here to run the power station. Now it's managed remotely, leaving behind a ghost town.
We've heard this is an abandoned community that we're heading into right now, so that would be the extreme scenario to bring this back to life.
It's beautiful.
The Lake Margaret Hall hasn't been used in decades, but Jake Charon from Canadian band The East Pointers is impressed.
Pretty neat. I mean, it's great that it's still going and it's still being used for an event and play some music. We've got some, some of our music is pretty old too, so we'll might be fitting.
Travis, you're the local organiser. You've had to be resourceful to get this up and running.
Yeah, that's right. There are challenges in managing this sort of event within what is a working power station, and a good example is this stage. It came from the local primary school. We are powering these lights above us from a generator, even though we are a stone's throw away from what is a working power station.
The locals start arriving and are drawn to the abandoned village, which has sprung to life.
Building forts and building guns.
I think that's my favourite.
It's a story about a stalker working in a cafe.
Tonight's sold-out gig is part of the Festival of Small Halls, a tour of regional towns in its 4th year in Australia.
Well, I've been collecting buttons, 'cause I know that you need one.
Lake Margaret is close to Queenstown, where the biggest employer, the Mount Lyell copper mine, closed 2 years ago, causing economic devastation and a desperate search for alternative industries.
It has been a tough time, but you know, when you do hit rock bottom, you are open for change, and there's a lot of discussions happening about what future economies there might be for the West Coast. Tourism's one, arts and culture is another.
It's good for the place, bringing lots of people back, and within the town itself, we've sort of met a few people that we hadn't seen in quite some years, so it was sort of a bit of a reunion.
Headliners The East Pointers hail from Prince Edward Island in eastern Canada, where the small halls concept was pioneered.
We grew up in a little island that a lot of rural communities and a lot of halls that aren't really used that much anymore, and a lot that we're kind of seeing a decline and more of a decline, to the point where some have been torn down. And but with the Festival of Small Halls, it's seeing like rejuvenation in the communities.
We're on the same page in that regards, I guess. Queenstown and PEI, Prince Edward Island in general. Work is hard to come by, and I think being able to come here and, like Tim says, just kind of, cheer people up for a little bit, I think that's a blessing.
It doesn't take long for their Celtic folk songs to have that effect.
Thanks for dancing. That makes it so much easier, more fun for us. This is great.
The musicians have travelled to 7 Tasmanian towns, including Chudley, while it was under threat from a major bushfire.
The last few days have been quite stressful with the fires and whatnot. And just to be able to take their mind off of it, hopefully we did, for the 45 minutes that we were on stage, just for them to just kind of relax and dance. And so that was pretty special.
Yeah, you want us to sing? Okay, we're gonna sing just for this lady at the front. And it is a great song. And it's called Blaney's Laughing Eyes.
Have you seen my...
Most shows have been full houses, and Tasmanian promoter Erin Collins hopes each community wants them back.
A lot of them have been underwritten by local councils, and the councillors themselves see this as really bringing life back into those communities. The idea with these tours is to make them not just a fly-in, fly-out idea. The idea is that there'll be an annual tour. I'm really hopeful that more communities will come on board.